today's video, we're going to talk about bulk discount pricing or volume discount pricing on your WooCommerce or Shopify e-commerce website, which both of them offer this feature without having to be a programmer or any of that nonsense. To get your free extra profit by having volume discount pricing. So some of you guys seen this video and clicked on it because you're already interested in this. For other people, i.e. our subscribers, if you're doing e-commerce, you're selling products online, you need to be strongly considering doing this. On side businesses that I also own and run, I offer this every single time. Why? Because it's literally free extra money and profit that's available to your business with very little work setting it up, and then from there, no extra work. It's just free extra money that you essentially are just throwing away if you don't offer any kind of bulk discount pricing. For a lot of you guys who don't think this applies to you, by the way, it does apply to you. You just don't know it yet. You got to watch this video to understand, i.e. if you don't think people buy more than one of what you're selling, they will if you present it to them anyway. Why? People come up with reasons to get a good deal. Everybody likes a deal. They're going to get a deal on 2 items versus 1. You'll be surprised how many people take you up on that offer. We've had some weird ass products where, cleaning solutions, whatever, we offer bulked out discount pricing where 1 bottle should certainly last you forever. People will buy 2 anyway. And same thing with sporting goods like bowling balls, that kind of stuff. The average is about 10% of people will take you up on a bulk discount deal where they'll buy multiple just to get a deal. It's similar to, going to a buffet and having eyes bigger than your stomach. People think they are going to use something later on or find a reason where they didn't have a reason before just to get the deal because people like a deal, or they know somebody that can use it potentially. They want to seem like, a hero. So there's multiple reasons why people will buy more than one when you don't think people need more than one of what you sell. At the very least, you try this out, test it out, see if what I'm saying is right, because throwing away an extra 5% of profit in your business on an ongoing basis from now to the next 10 years you're going to operate this business would be really idiotic. And 10 years goes by and I told you, here's another 500 grand in profit you could have made, and here it is in a big suitcase, and you obviously would want that money. So that's what we're talking about here for most of you guys watching this. Anyway, I'm going to get into the content, explain why you want to offer the bulk discount pricing, what are your options, the way that we're doing it. I'll give you some examples of where we're using it in different markets. And then also, like the how-to on how to actually implement this for your business, whether you're using Shopify, WooCommerce, whatever. If you're running an e-commerce business, this will work. So with that said, for e-commerce business owners, okay, you guys are literally throwing away 5 or even a little bit more than that % of your profit away on any ad campaigns, whether you're running Google ads, Facebook ads, or what have you. Not having a bulk pricing option on your site available where you're offering a little bit cheaper pricing for buying 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 or whatever. For different markets, you're going to have a different discount and a different spread and different range of pricing based upon buying, a greater number, but everybody should be offering some sort of discount for buying multiple units or multiple pieces or what have you, whatever applies to your market. Even if you don't think it applies to your business niche that you're in or whether your customers need it. It doesn't matter if your customers need it. People buy crap, particularly in the United States, all the time that they don't need. People buy emotionally. If you ever heard of impulse buying, people buy shit just for the sake of buying it. Need is a secondary, and in fact, nobody needs anything. You need food, you need water. You don't need anything. The fact, a lot of people just buy, particularly shopaholics, they're addicted, they get a dopamine rush from buying. why not give them a rush to have an extra deal and earn a little bit extra profit from your ongoing campaigns on an ongoing basis just because you had it available? Give them a little bit of an extra rush of shopping and buying through your website. Anyway, in order to do this, okay, as I mentioned before, you offer this discount here, you'll get 10% or so of people to take advantage of this, whether or not you think it logically makes sense in your space or not. And there's 3 ways you can do it, of which I would recommend as many, or at least 2 of them, we'll just say. The first of which is you create a table on your product pages of your website. So this is pretty simple. On the product page, you'll just say, 1, here's the price. 2, here's the price. 3, here's the price. And it's in a little table. So that's what you could do to implement bulk pricing on your website. The second way would be an upsell page during the checkout process of your site. Now, this is also very doable with WooCommerce and Shopify via a plugin. So they get to the end of the process. In this case, for the most part, generally speaking, you're not going to ask people to buy 2 or 3 or whatever at a discounted rate for all the purchases that they're making until you've already got the initial purchase locked down. But once you've already got the initial purchase locked down, by not trying to ask anything else, you're literally just throwing money away. The people that got this right was the people that sold, and still do it to this day, but obviously it's not as big, doing television advertising, selling gimmicky type of products, the seen on TV products. You call up those companies to order, they would have a whole string of things that they would try to offer you once they already got the initial purchase locked down, because you're not going to lose up, you get the credit card information, so to say, and before you process the card, you ask them this and this and this. You've already got the first purchase locked down. You're throwing money away if you don't try to sell up something else. And because they're in the buying mode, many people will just go with the flow. You just got to ask them. So as it comes to your site, this is the digital equivalent of that. Why are you not asking them if they want a second one for a friend, or to stock up so they don't have to order as quickly next time, and giving a little bit of a discount by making that decision with the implied where you deliberately tell them idea here that they're not going to get a 10% discount or 20% or 30% discount if they don't do it right then and there. It's a one-time offer. Either do it now or you're not getting it at all. And if you have to buy later, you're buying it at full price. It builds a scarcity in what to what you're selling and the opportunity, and therefore people will take you up on it as far as an impulse decision. So you could do it on the upsell and just say, hey, ultimately, like we do this all the time in the supplement space, where, hey, wait a second, you can buy a second bottle for 10% off the cost of the retail price for the first and the second bottle. And then if they do that, guess what? Because we found out in that market, or markets where we're selling supplements, you give them that upsell once you got the initial order locked down already. And then if they say yes to that, guess what you do? You automatically have another upsell where you offer them 3 bottles for the price of 85% of the retail price for each bottle. And guess what happens if they do that? If you're smart, this is what you do. Then you offer them 4 bottles for the price of 80%. And you just see how far you can take the person. Some people will take none. Some people will take 1. Some people will take 2, 3, 4. And naturally, if you're willing to take less margin on each one, but you're able to sell more, you certainly are going to end up with more profit by having to give them a better deal if they keep buying more. You just got to work the math out to know at what price point or what kind of a discount you can offer where it still makes sense, where you can make more money if they take you up on that offer, and then progressively making the deal better, but for the customer if they buy more, but progressively you keep making more money, total profit on the deal, still for yourself, even though they're buying more. So that's a way that you can do it. The table itself, that'll generally be on companies where you don't need to often make a repeat purchase. So the upsell will be something like where you're doing book printing and the customer's likely need to come back, or business card printing. We'll have the upsell do that here. You can actually order extra now and we'll give you this much off. Oh, well, if you wanted to do that, we'll actually give you an even better deal for this much more. So stuff where there's repeat purchases common, we'll do the upsell option. Where repeat purchases aren't common, we'll go the table route to try to encourage that person to just buy more, to take advantage of, for whatever reason. There's multiple reasons why they would want to buy more, even though typically people only buy one or once. Notably, they can use it for somebody else that they know. But we'll go, in that case, we'll go the table on the product pages and then that's it. Even though if you wanted to, technically, you could do both. You could do the table itself on the product pages, and you could do the upsell itself and get even more adoption of the upsell of the discount pricing where they buy multiple. And in fact, we've done that before. So you don't have to just go one way or another, but at the very least you should do two of these, which is either one or two, plus any phone calls or emails where you have interaction with that prospective customer before they buy, or even when they call to buy, you mention it to them on the phone. Just like you would during the checkout, you would offer them that upsell, you do it over the phone. But even if they just call and ask questions, before you hang up the phone, you could say, hey, first of all, if you'll put the order through your phone, assuming you have that capability, I'll give you an extra 5% off your order right now. So you lock down the sale, because there's a certain percentage will never get through the cart, even if they tell you they're going to go through the cart, which is why you want to lock the sale down over the phone. But even if they just ask a question, they're not ready to buy yet, that's the time when you could say, hey, if you actually, I'll give you a deal. If you want to give this to your friend, by the way, we'll give you an extra 10% off, whatever, and you tell them there as well. So I would do that. Same thing through email. If they ask a question through email, say, hey, by the way, when you do order, I'll give you an extra 10% off if you buy two. Just, use this XYZ discount code during the checkout, and we'll give it to you. And you'll get a certain percentage of adoption that way. So technically, if you wanted to take this all the way, you would do all three. Table on the product page, upsells during the checkout on your site. Anytime they call, every single person you talk to gets the upsell of bulk discount pricing. Buy two, get it for this price. Buy three, get it for this price, and so forth. And overall, you get at least 10% of the people taking you up on the offer, no matter how much you think it won't work for your product. You'll get some adoption no matter what. Some markets it might only be 2, 3, 4, 5%, but that's just extra free money from literally nothing. Some markets it's 20% plus. Particularly like when we do in the supplements area, we'll get 20% or more to buy multiple at that exact time. Whereas if we're selling cleaning supplies, going back to that example, we certainly might only get about 5% of people to buy multiple, but again, it's free money. And sometimes you really hit the jackpot. Somebody will buy 10 or buy a whole case of that cleaning supplies because you asked for it up front. And if you're saying, well, they would have bought all that anyway later on, the answer, that's not accurate, by the way. And it's not the right way to think about things. People that intend to buy more than one from you later on often won't, because they get distracted. One of your competitors poach them. They blow the money on something else. They forget your brand names, and then later on they go with somebody else anyway. There's all these reasons why they're not going to end up buying from you, whether intentionally or unintentionally later on. And you say the sooner you can lock down the future so-called purchases from that person, the better, because you're not leaving it up to chance whether or not they're going to come back. You can load them up with as much product that they'll never have to come back again. That's better to do it now than later. That's why you'll make more money in your business, and why it's worth it to do this as well. Doing the bulk upsell and discount, taking less margin on those products, and getting it now versus waiting later and selling it to them at full price. A lot of times in markets where, by the way, where we do repeat purchases, or there's repeat purchases, we'll take the customer list and we'll just market to the customer list, and then every month to 3 months we'll have a customer appreciation offer, 10% off this weekend, and we'll get way more from each customer in terms of lifetime value than if we didn't do that. And this makes it more, gives us way more capability in terms of what we can spend to get a customer when we work our customer list in such a way. That's one way to get more from a customer. The other way is when they make that initial purchase, we see what we can get from them right away up front as well. I mean, obviously we can offer them other stuff, but it's easier to just offering them more of the same thing because they already value that. They already think it's the best thing out there. Otherwise they wouldn't be buying it. Anyway, since multiple purchases from the same person cost the same in advertising spend to you, you can easily offer 10-20% off your per unit cost, as it cost you, I mean, you would have already had to spend that money to get another customer anyway. Most of you guys spend somewhere between 10 and 20% of your product cost in marketing costs to acquire the customer. They buy 2, that second purchase came with 0 marketing cost. So that 10-20% that you're going to invest in marketing anyway to find another customer, you can give that back to the customer if they're willing to buy 2 up front in terms of a discount. So ultimately, you're not sacrificing your margins in order to offer them 10% off the product cost if they buy 2 versus 1. There is no sacrifice in the margin at all. Because you're making it back up and not having to spend marketing costs to get another customer that will then only now buy 1. Furthermore, when you talk about shipping costs, when you're eating the shipping costs, you're offering free shipping now, by the way, for a lot of you guys. Offering 2 products versus 1, you're not going to be. It's cheaper to send 2 to the same person than it is to send 2 products to 2 different people. Yes, the weight is going to double, but the way that the pricing breaks down from the shippers, it's actually just going to, because there's base cost to every package shipment. This is the way that it works out. So even though more weight equals more cost, it doesn't equal out to where it costs the same to ship it to 2 products to 2 different people than to send 2 of the same products to the same person. So you're going to save and market your shipping cost sending multiple products to the same person. So that gives you room to discount your product pricing and give that back to the consumer to attract or to incentivize them to buy more than 1 unit from you on their initial purchase from you. So what we'll typically do when we're going to offer the discount pricing, if the product costs $100, we'll offer 1 for $100, 2 for $90, 3 plus for $85, given it costs us 10% of the cost of the product in terms of marketing / advertising costs to get the customer anyway. So this automatically costs us no extra money and gets us another 10% more orders from the same exact ads we have running, given 10% will take us up on the offer that we're giving them, i.e. a discount on buying multiple, just because it's there. You're not going to get it if you don't ask. So, and then with that, like I said, even though you don't think that people need more, if you're selling a red sweater to somebody, doesn't mean they're not going to be able to buy 2 red sweaters. There's multiple reasons why they would do that if you offer them the opportunity to buy those 2 red sweaters at 15% off if you buy 2 versus full price on 1. In some markets, you tell people when you ask them physically, if they would like to buy 2 for, the cost of 85% the cost, you can do it to tell them to stock up. Stock up now, get 15% off your order on buying 5 versus 1, so that you save money, because implying that when you buy later you're not going to get the 15% off. that's one way to tell people when you make them this bulk, discount offer, why, you help them justify, you try to plant the justification in their mind, because if you wait for them to do it on their own, you're not going to get the same adoption rate. You also could say give as a gift. Buy 2 of these red sweaters, give 1 as a gift, and you get each one at 15% off. Otherwise, you can pay full price per one. And 10% will take you up on that every time, I promise you. Another way, depending on what your market is, you could say, buy the second one for your second house, depending if you're selling to an affluent market, or for your office, buy one for your office. There's another way for the user to justify it, because everybody wants a deal, but not everybody knows what they're going to do with the second product. That's why you tell them what you're going to do with the second product, and then you'll get a bigger adoption of them going for this bulk discount pricing offer that you're offering them in your checkout, in your phone calls, on your product pages, and offering it in general. But so all in all, with everything I gave you, if you use that system, which we're going to use on every company that we own, and for any clients that want to listen at our ad agency that we have, you'll get, with that 10% of people that will take you up on your offer on average, an extra 5% additional profit in your business, given that you probably are going to have to offer some, if you offer only a little bit in terms of a discount here, obviously that doesn't eat into your margins. If you offer a decent deal with a 10% adoption, you're still, even if it eats into your margins, you're still going to end up with 5% at least more money in your business. You could make between 5% more profit to 20% more profit from the same traffic you're driving into your site right now, just by doing the system that I told you to do here. You'll have to work out the math and do some split testing if you want to get the 20% or whatever versus the 5% more profit, figuring out what's the discount on the pricing, looking at your margins, figuring out what the adoption rate is. Some of you guys, we've seen it where if you can offer 30% off the product, you'll get 20+% of people going for, buying more than one in that case, because it's 30% off. And they thought it was cool enough that they'd love to be able to give it as a gift. But you don't know until you test that. So go ahead and try it. At the very least though, I write 5% more profit in your business, you implementing this, because that's going to be your bottom. So if you're making $1 million a year on your advertising spend, an extra 5%, that's an extra 50 grand a year you got for free. And with a little bit of setup, and assuming that you got the pricing and the offer down right the first time, but you may have to do a little bit of testing to find out what the price breaks need to be, and figure out a little bit on the plugins you need to, what's the best plugin to use, which I could point you to the plugins to use for both WooCommerce and Shopify to do this stuff. If you need it, just let me know in the comments. But relatively little work for an extra 5, maybe even 10, maybe even 20% more profit in your business on an ongoing basis. On the tables, I forgot to mention, the one thing that we found as a bonus small side tip here, if you put a little fire emoji next to the biggest package, like if you had, here's the price for 1, here's the price for 2, here's the price for 3+, I'll put a little fire symbol next to the 3+ price to draw the eye to the big one first. Psychologically, you'll sell more if people see the big price first and then the small price. But the fact that it's 3+, even though it's a lower per unit price, it seems like the most money. So naturally, you'll convert better having that flame symbol on the 3, because it'll see the bigger one first. But anyway, that will help the adoption rate of people going for the 3+, or even just buying 2, than having the prices there and then nothing else. That flame icon was a nice little find, if you will, that we found that will help boost this up a little bit more. And it also just draws the eye more, really why this works is it draws the eye to the discount pricing, so that if they're on your product page they don't miss it. They all see it. They all then, you're getting the maximum amount of people to adopt it because everybody's going to at least consider it versus half are going to consider because half of them don't see it when they're on your page, if you will. A lot of you think everybody sees everything on your page. They don't. How you lay out the page and how you design it will dictate what percentage of what people see what elements on your page. So that helps draw the eye in for you. Anyway, I think I'll just wrap it up with that. If you have any questions about anything I covered here, leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person that leaves me a comment on this channel, usually within a couple days. You can ask me any ad-related question you'd like, or marketing-related question for that matter, as I love to give back to my viewers of this channel, just as a thanks for watching the channel. If you did like the video though, and you saw value in it, I'd appreciate it if you would give it a like and consider subscribing to this channel, as I have tons of information on this channel of different tests, experiments, and so forth that we find through, and for myself, doing ad strategy for the clients at my firm. I manage dozens of ad accounts for clients that I have on an ongoing basis, and the stuff that works as well as the stuff that doesn't work, I share with you directly on this channel. So it's information coming straight from the source and somebody who just does ad strategy all day long. So it's not just coming from some YouTuber who, you know, is selling, you know, courses or something like that. It's coming from somebody who does ad strategy for a living, and just only that, and that, you know, just has a YouTube channel on the side. So it's valuable information, more valuable than you can find elsewhere. If you like the advice that I give you here, you'll also like my blog at guaranteedppc.com/blog, where you can find written content from myself as well as on my column on entrepreneur.com. So if you like the channel, you'll love the written content that I have, really, you know, as well. So you should check that out as well. If you like what you hear here, but you don't want to put in the hard work to do it, you could simply just hire me to do work on your campaigns. I'm an ad manager. This is all I do, as I mentioned. And I guarantee all the work that I do in that we can guarantee physically you get some more sales results on your ad campaigns and your ad spend before we take any fees for our work, or we can generate you a certain minimum more leads if that's what you want. But you know, the catch is I don't work with just any client. You have to have a great offer, a great product or service to work with. But I'd be happy to look over your stuff and get you a free analysis if you reach out to me at my ad agency at guaranteedppc.com and let you know what we can do sales-wise, results-wise for your account up front. If you don't want somebody to just manage your account, but you want to shortcut your way to success, if we've worked in your market before, and we've worked in over 100 markets at this stage in the last roughly 10 years of having run Guaranteed PPC, you could take the templated results that we have for your market, in which we would just use again if we were working with somebody in your market, and copy and paste those templated results into your ad accounts and get the same results we're already getting for your market that we've built up over years to find out what works in your market in terms of the ads, campaigns, landing pages, and so forth. So if there's no conflict of interest between you and, you know, ultimately a client that we're working with currently, you can use those ad templates to get the same results we were getting in your market already, and tell you what results we were getting in your market using those exact templates. If you're interested in that type of thing, you can reach out to us at guaranteedppc.com. I'll tell you if we've worked in your market and what results we've gotten in your market, so you would know up front with those templates what you could ultimately get within a relatively short period of time of just using those same templates in your ad accounts. You'll spend more money figuring out what works and what doesn't work in your market than what we charge for these templates. I can promise you that. So anyway, if you're interested in that, you can reach out to me at my firm, guaranteedppc.com. I'll let you know what we have. Or if you're looking to start another venture, I can tell you what results you can get in some of these other markets, which you may be interested in just doing what our other clients are doing, and, you know, start up a campaign and outsource work to another party and have virtually a passive income business going, if that's what you want to do and want to manage other people and so forth, make sure they can deliver. We got multiple people doing that at our agency now as well, using our template. So that said, I'll wrap it up with that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you on my next video where we have another great strategy for you then. See you later.